is living everyday wonder. Play. The topic for today is I'll rest when I'm dead. Absolutely not, because we'll all be together. Play. Let's hear reflections on this topic. The first is by Brené Brown. It takes courage to say yes to rest and play in a culture where exhaustion is seen as a status symbol. The next reflection is by Thich Nhat Hanh. It is very important that we relearn the art of resting and relaxing. Not only does it prevent the onset of many illnesses that develop through chronic tension and worry, it allows us to clear our minds, focus and find creative solutions to problems. So, let's affirm together. I choose rest and recovery as part of my vibrancy. So, let's hear wonderful words of inspiration and songs that I did not listen to or read. Please.
Okay, you did the talk, Robin. Sit and cut paper.
I tell you. Okay. Would you like to come up since we're playing?
I would.
Save me.
Oh, you're saved.
Am I?
You're healed. You're healed.
Next time if you send an email to say, please read.
Oh my gosh. I thought I got saved from doing the talk for a second. I was like, go Reverend Kathleen. What do you got for today?
She's trying to break it out with sweat.
It was a playful sweat, but it was a sweat. Okay, now I need to check in with Facebook. Michelle, am I cutting off your angle here? Have you got a good view of all that's happening? Michelle's got it going. You got it going. You got it going. All right. Stop. Reset. Start. Here we go. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Ernest Holmes. You've heard of Ernest Holmes, have you not? Yeah. Excellent. Ernest Holmes. He is the one who created the philosophy, the science of mind, which is the flavor of New Thought, Ancient Wisdom, as Reverend Kathleen talked about today, that we focus on here at Center for Spiritual Living, Delaware. And he said, we believe in the unity of all life. We believe in the unity of all life. Breathe that in for just a second. We believe in the unity of all life. He also said that we believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of man. Okay, I'll say instead of man, of everyone. And that any person may become the revealer of truth who lives in close contact with that indwelling presence. So just for a second, welcome to a wonderful Sunday. I know you've all set the alarm or not, woken up, had your nourishment for the morning, made your way here to the Center for Creative Arts, here to the Center for Spiritual Living, Delaware. Take a deep breath and give yourself a gentle internal hug for that choice to be in this peace, in this joy, in this prosperity, in this beloved community. Truly welcoming you and asking you, how's the year going for you so far? Has this been a year of wonderment for you?
Yes.
Year of wonderment?
Yes.
Because this year, our theme, the Centers for Spiritual Living, is bringing up this theme that is living everyday wonder. There you go. Living everyday wonder. So for the whole year, every day, every moment, we can just take a moment and recognize, am I living everyday wonder? How am I living everyday wonder? In January, we explored the expansiveness of the universe and that wonderment, and then we also explored that moment of simplicity, that wonderment that can be in a moment of simplicity. We enjoyed the idea of curiosity, being curious about things, and then the importance of asking questions, and then also proving the solutions. Then in February was about the inner life. So we went from the composition of the universe to that inner life, living that everyday wonderment in our inner life, that perfect spirit within, that co-creator in my life, that I am spirit, and that love reveals everything, even through the idea of fear. And in March, we have learned that the 3 letters of God and the 3 letters of fun go together. God is fun. We even played Twister with God. And this week, how delightful. From childlike play to adult-like glorification of busyness. I'm busy. I'll rest when I'm dead. Am I busy enough? Have I got enough? Now, I have come up with an alternate title for this week. And my title, there's an or in this, is we're humanly aware of doing all of this busyness. This busyness, here, there. Okay, I'm doing this. This is really important, but shouldn't you sit down? You look a little peaked. I'll rest when I'm dead. I look at that busyness, and I ask this question. It's a playful question, this playful March week. My question is, how am I running away from peace? How am I running away from peace? So, I don't know if you've been in everyday life, but it seems to be pretty busy out there. Because it would appear that if I could have more money and have more success and have more fill in the blank, I would be happy. So I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to work until I get, the survey says, more. There's this more consciousness. We might call it a race consciousness that's out there. There needs to be more. There's a lot of flurry. There's a lot of fluttering. There's a lot of juice in this. Gotta do it. So, I mean, today is really about, in this world of gotta do it. Are you embracing that? Okay, when I ask the question, am I running away from peace? What kind of answer did you give yourself when you heard that question for yourself? Yes. Running towards, she said with a sense of agitation. Running towards. She's going to get there. So then there may have been some of you that said, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm peaceful. I'm very peaceful. With no anger. So for all of us, including those of you who are very peaceful, take a moment and ask yourself, am I running away from peace? And even if your answer is, yes, I am, that's not where the question ends. Am I running away from peace? How? What am I doing that is so important that it is greater than my peace? Because peace is a quality of God. IBM is not a quality of God. Taco Bell is not a quality of God. My job can have qualities of God. But we have to go back down to that moment of peace and love. when I'm moving forward and I'm going to get it done, am I creating a separation am I trying to create a separation between me and God that says, yeah, that's okay, God, I know you've got it, but I've got to fix this. I know you'll take care of it, but I've got to do this. I trust in you, small t, but I got to do this. Now, come on. Today is about rest, recovery, and rejuvenation. For all of us that are out there in the real world, as we like to call it, that idea of resting and recovering, I don't know about you, but it's not something that I have embraced easily in my life. Especially this week, when the topic was all about rest, recovery, and rejuvenation. I've got to write the talk. I've got to rest, recovery. Namaste, namaste, namaste. I breathe. Are you looking for science to convince you that rest, recovery, and rejuvenation is important? Or are you just looking within? Can you just look within and pay attention to that inner self and recognize that sense of rest, that sense of recovery, that sense of rejuvenation is essential to that fulfillment, that divine urge. All of your busyness is coming from a divine urge somewhere. You've got a divine urge, a value that's saying, this is what I'm called for. This is what I'm called for. And then you just add now to the equation. Success. Now. Let's get success. Love. Now. Let's get love. When we add that pressure of now, we can take that pressure off and focus in our spiritual practice on truth that there is a unity in all things. There's nowhere in We Believe that it says that you've got to get it done, you've got to do it right, you've got to do it now, or that you can fix it. It's the sense of relaxation, recovery that we retreat to after we've gone out with a sense of vibrancy. Our vibrancy, if we can take our busyness and recognize that it's very important, it's pointing out to us something that we are called to. We're focused on something that is very important to us, and we're called there. We may just be doing a little bit of hurting ourselves in the process. It's when we're hurting ourselves in the process that we need to step back and focus on God instead. Whenever I have this kind of thing, and as a matter of fact, just to prove that I've really studied this, there's a book called Meet Your Inside Team, and it says, this is all about the voices in your head. Cynthia Lloyd Darcy talks about one person, the Gotta Do Gang. Hendrick had a hijacking gang. He named them the Gotta Do Gang. This gang consisted of gotta do it, gotta get it done, gotta do it right, gotta do it now. That gang adopted Hendrick's values of action and excellence and took them to a place that was not feeling good to him. The Gotta Do Gang was willing to do anything and everything to get things done. They didn't care about anyone or anything but the task at hand. Hendrick had to pull this gang apart, take them apart and deal with them separately, and disengage and de-energize them to use this gotta-do gang more effectively. Well, you might ask why I'm bringing this up. Hendrick was really me. I was a client of hers, and she put me in the book. Because the thing that we were talking about for the longest time was, I gotta get it done, gotta do it right, gotta do it now. Gotta get it done, gotta do it right, gotta do it now. We weren't talking about a holistic sense of how Dean was able to embrace trust and truth. And it came to me through spiritual practice to release that, which is there to this day. I can get that, gotta do it right, gotta get it done, gotta do it right. Can't I? I can do that at home, can't I? And I think about God instead. When I think about this, I ask myself one question. How is this happening for me? How is this divine urge that's got so much pressure, how is it happening for me? Because this stops me to think about, what am I getting from this? There's something that I'm receiving from this behavior, from these choices. And this month's theme of play helps me think that I remember when I was a kid and I would go out and play and play and play and play and play and play and play. Or maybe you've got kids at home and you remember the kids, you let them play, they'll play, keep them playing, they'll play, and then they'll fall apart. They'll just fall, they'll crash, they'll rest. As adults, we get to play. Busyness. This week is about taking more time in our sacred schedule. You know how we've got our calendars? Make our calendars a little bit more Christ-like and add in recovery, rejuvenation, however you express it. Walks in the park, talks with dear close friends, time by yourself, time with others. Well, last night we were over at Candace's and we had great fun. We did the hokey pokey. And Uni said, okay, we're going to add some fun to this, so put some kind of spiritual concept. So we had people going, I put my chakra in, I put my chakra out, I put my chakra in, and I shake it all about. I do the hokey pokey and I turn myself about. That's what it's all about. And then, of course, we had Jenny here. You put your smile in, you put your smile out, you put your smile in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. I'm sorry, wasn't that serious enough? I know that we're at our spiritual center and we need to be very, very serious, but we were playing last night. When you're playing, put your hand out. If you have a friend, let them take your hand. When you're in the woods, when you're at the beach, when you're doing a crossword puzzle, when you're singing a song, when you're doing whatever that brings you a sense of rejuvenation, take your hand out. And if there's not another hand there, put your hand there. It's a perfect time for prayer. So let's just sit quietly for just a second. Just sit with your feet on the floor and recognize that this vibrancy that we call busyness, this is you at great high energy. This is something that's very important to you. Something that's very important to you. Take it in your mind right now and embrace it. Embrace it. Think about it right now. What is that thing that constantly sets you going? Brings you to too much busyness, too much drama, too much trauma, too much lack. Now gently allow there to be a sense of love. A sense of love. Who do you go to? Who do you envision? Who is your icon of love? And let their image come to you. If it is the blessed Savior, terrific. If it is your cat, fabulous. Your child, your parent, your loved ones. Allow them to come to you and embrace this that is so important to you with love. Breathe in that sense of peace. Allow this sense of gotta get it done, gotta do it right, gotta do it now, to release and relax. Allow it to experience itself. It's perfect just as it is. Allow yourself to infuse it with love. And recognize that all faith systems that I know of recommend time off, a break, a time to embrace that concept of your highest good and your innermost God, that one God.
Breathe. Where can you bring in, where can we bring in rest, recovery, and rejuvenation? How is that possible? Now gently open your eyes and see how I made Deb appear. Hi, Deb. Let's start off with this. Let us say together, I choose rest and recovery as part of my vibrancy. I choose rest and recovery as part of my vibrancy. I see that busyness, that excitement as a vibrancy, and I choose rest and recovery to be part of it. I choose rest and recovery. Okay, stand up, stand up. Stand up. See, this also keeps you awake. You know, soon I'm going to have you doing the hokey pokey. No, I would never do that. Yes, I would. Okay, stand up and say it aloud. I choose rest and recovery as part of my vibrancy. Okay, we're going to explore this. Just keep your arms up, kind of like an opera singer. Just like this. I choose rest and recovery as part of my vibrancy. One more time. I choose rest and recovery as part of my vibrancy. Like you're in the middle of the Met and you're center stage, I choose rest and recovery as part of my vibrant energy. Now say, I want to join the theater of Delaware choir. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Dan?
Sorry, I screwed up.
He's generally so good. I choose rest and recovery as part of my vibrancy. Please sit down. I choose rest and recovery as part of my vibrancy. Resting and recovering allows and requires that I let go and I let God. I allow myself, we allow ourselves to enter in a sense of peace and joy and contentment. I hope everybody reads Reverend Kathleen's newsletters every week because there is rest and recovery there, and it is described through the ideas of science of mind. And she gave us a quote this week that I love. I love this quote. Thank you for this. When we are confused and trying to go in 40 directions at once, which is the most psychologically and physiologically disintegrating and devastating thing anyone can do, we should turn definitely from the confusion and get by yourself. Next, come to the realization of a divine presence and its inner peace, and recognize that there is but one life. That life is God, that life is within us, and there is no confusion in that life. And begin to identify with that life. Now that's Ernest Holmes from The Spiritual Universe and You. Science talks about this as well. I love that quote when you're digging 40 holes at once. Maybe you should consider to dig only 3. You'll get deeper. From a human standpoint, you will accomplish more. From a spiritual standpoint, you will trust more. That's why I have a process called the grand pause. You know when you've got a orchestral piece, there are rests and there are bird's eyes and the fermatas and things that we stop. But in a piece of, in a composition where the composer really wants to stop, they do a grand pause. The whole orchestra will go to this place and then it will stop. And there's silence. The vibration in the room relaxes into that silence. Like this silence. And then the music continues. When the choice is made by the conductor to move forward, that grand pause stops. So I do at least once a month, 3 to 4 hours of sitting, listening to music. I don't sleep. That's the only thing. I can walk. I'll take a grand pause. I put that in my sacred schedule. A grand pause. I actually, based on our private situation, I've created a day off where I say, Frank, Mom, Ray, I'm out of here for 12 hours, have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm going away. I'm grateful to have that ability. What ability do you have to rest and recover and rejuvenate? There's a couple of places I'd like to send you. You know, there's a book, a really terrific book by Dr. Joe Dispenza called Being Supernatural. It gives the best explanation at one point of meditation that I've ever heard. And if you want to know about it, come to me, talk to me afterwards, just send me an email. I'll be glad to give it to you. It's a terrific book. There's another book from a more human standpoint. There's a book called Essentialism, where Greg McEwen talks about removing virtually most of what you're doing to focus on the things that are the most important. And consistently removing that which is not important in your life, really important, and focusing on those things which are the most important. Yes?
All of us have a very, like linear way
So here you go. Her brain got busy. So he's got to fix it. Because people are seeing that, and they're judging me. And in any case, it's worked in my last nerve. Michelle, turn within. And know that it's going to be okay. And because there is love here, and some mountains are just too big to climb, right? Ernest Holmes. Here's another one from Ernest Holmes. What does he say here? To enter the science is to quiet our minds and enter the place of non-movement. To be still and know that I am God is to enter the sanctuary of one's own consciousness. Be still and know that I'm the smartest. Be still and know that I am God. And love is present. Be still and know that I am God. Use that sense of meditation, that sense of prayer. There are many ways to experience the Sabbath. I have another book, Sabbath. This, folks, from a spiritual standpoint, Sabbath, finding rest, renewal, and delight in our busy lives. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. There's a quote in here about sex that I won't tell you about. Yes. Actually, it's about making love. There are any number of ways to experience and express a sense of rejuvenation. And this author explores so many of them so that we can create our own Sabbath in our lives. I choose rest and recovery as part of my vibrancy. I choose rest and recovery as part of my vibrancy. But I have too many problems, you might say. Thich Nhat Hanh, don't you just love that name? God bless her. She just passed in January. The magnificent Buddhist Master Thich Nhat Hanh, she, born in New York City, by the way, she said, it is very important that we relearn the art of resting and relaxing. No, not only does it prevent the onset of many illnesses that develop through chronic tension and worrying, it allows us to clear our minds, focus, and find creative solutions to problems. So are you going to stay with busyness or vibrancy? eternally busy or divinely balanced? Are you going to focus on those things that bring you peace and joy and power internally, that inner God within? Or are you going to stick with your sense of, I've got to fix it, it's up to me? You get to have either one of them. It's completely our choice. Thank God. Are you going to choose peace or war? I choose rest and recovery as part of my vibrancy. I choose rest and recovery as part of my vibrancy. I choose love and peace and kindness. I choose beloved community. I choose music. I choose CSL Delaware Choir. I choose silly socks. And I choose you. Let's pray. I focus this moment, this infinite, loving, joyous moment, on that idea of God which reverberates in this room and needs no introduction. That experience is here and now expressing as each one of us here in absolute magnificence. And in that expression, in the spiritual center, I feel, I sense, and know for each one of us, for all of us, that sense of unity in that God source, that fun source, that God within, that fun within, that play within, that question within that I am here to solve, to embrace, to love, that question within which I am here to use for my highest good and my innermost God. I speak this word for this day of play in peace. I speak this word for this day of every idea expressing in peace, in vitality, in vibrancy, recognizing the peace within myself radiates throughout the entire universe. The peace within myself radiates. In that idea of peace for Ukraine, I identify that idea starts with peace for you. Wherever you are, within and outside, as that peace is established within, it must go through the entire universe in consciousness. I speak this word absolutely from this beloved spiritual center, knowing that we are blessed in play, we are blessed in yes, we are blessed in vibrancy, we are blessed in the multitudes coming together in that attractive feeling of home and presence and love. We are blessed in abundance. I know that everyone in the center is blessed. I bless this congregation and know that it blesses itself. I know that Reverend Dr. Kathleen is absolutely blessed. And Bree is that keeper of the flame of spiritual well-being. I speak this word knowing that all of our ministries are blessed, be it music or audio-visual or hospitality or practitioner corps, any number of those vibrant and important and sweet and loving functions that bring the idea of Center for Spiritual Living Delaware forward. We give thanks for those serving today. We give thanks for this prayer. We give thanks for this play. We give thanks for the hokey pokey. We turn ourselves around. That's what it's all about. We turn ourselves around in the playfulness of God, the fun of God, the release of God, knowing that as we go forward in this week, we are committed to that sense of awareness, of recovery, rejuvenation, and vibrancy. That we rest in the arms of God and recognize that we have the opportunity to move our feet appropriately and treat. We express our hand out, we let go, and we let God as we are in prayer. I'm so grateful for this knowing. I'm so grateful for this prayer, which is already answered in the mind of God. I am excited, I am vibrant, I am grateful, and together we say, yes! And so it is. Yee-haw. I now reintroduce, thank you, the lovely and talented Deb Chapin. Oh, wait, I'm saying.